Welcome to the studio. This is going to be casual sessions with Kenji. I'm just going to be talking about topics without getting too technical or too in-depth with, edits and all this. This is going to be more of a straight shoot. I'm working on my public speaking, and I think the more casual I can be, the better my delivery is going to be. So this is part one of me getting to that point that I really want to get to. So it's 2024. We all want to get our brands off the ground. We want to make some money. We want to make things happen this year. And, it's a great time to start setting some goals for the year. But I just wanted to cover some topics that have to do with general brand building and mindset for this year that hopefully get you set up and then, make you thrive for the rest of this year. So if you're just starting off this year, make sure you pick a niche that you care about. A lot of people are just jumping into the POD and keep pressing game to make money because they heard on YouTube or whatever that, oh yeah, someone is turning hella profits because they have a screen printer or a heat press or whatever. But in reality, everyone's trying to make a fucking brand these days. And unless you have a niche that you understand, you're not gonna do very well. I've been seeing so many designs on social media where I can tell people are just ripping the exact same design from Kittle or from Canva or whatever those free resources are. And there's nothing wrong with using these sites. It's just that the more you rely on the free stuff that everybody has access to, the more likely your stuff is going to look like everyone else's stuff, because that's just the nature of the game. When it's free, everyone's going to be pulling from the same resource. So you're just going to be competing against people who are also pulling out of the free resource. So my advice is you should be investing into your tools. So mocks are actually a really good example of this. A lot of people use mockups from like Printful, Printify, whatever the POD sites are. If you look at a site that has all the exact same mockups from that site, I can instantly tell it's very amateurish, and there's even if the design is the coolest design, there's nothing that will convince me that this brand is actually a high quality brand. It just kind of looks like a POD site to me. So even investing in your mocks is kind of like a good first step, especially if you don't have access to a DSLR or if you're not sure how to do this on your own. Because thankfully I had a job where I can learn this as I went, and that was a big reason why I have an eye for good mock-ups, good design, is because I had a job that allowed me to practice every day basically. But that was also because I put myself in a position where I can have these advantages and also learn beyond just the job. The easy part is just getting the job. The hard part is applying everything you learn for yourself, because once you start doing this for yourself, it's a totally different ballgame. So picking a niche that you care about is super important, because that way you're designing for someone that you are a customer base for already. So you're actually creating stuff that people would buy, versus if you're researching, like, let's say for example, some random Doge, like Bitcoin or crypto or whatever niche, and you make some crypto stuff and you don't understand the community, you're gonna probably make some really corny stuff that people who are actually in it are never gonna wear, and you're just gonna be wasting your time doing stuff like that. And for me, my niche is dance music and like electronic music festivals, because that's the scene that I grew up with for the last 10 years. Plus my childhood all comes from electronic music. So I understand the scene very, very well. And that's just the field that I've been designing in for a very long time as well. So for me to do this is very natural, and I can connect with customers, and I know what people want because that's what I want. It's just kind of like, you don't have to be a consumer, but it definitely helps to be a fan or a consumer of that particular niche, because then you're already buying stuff. So you can kind of gauge, what do people like in the community, and then go backwards from there. Reverse engineer what's already working, so that way you're not trying to shoot into the dark and figure out what works best. So yeah, pick a niche that you care about. That way, when you design, you actually enjoy making it too, because if you're gonna be designing stuff you don't care about, you're gonna burn out, or you're just kind of not enjoy it. And longevity is everything. So yeah, keep that in mind. Next is social media stuff. So social media, man, I am honestly kind of over Instagram right now. If you didn't know, I'm at around 20,000 on Instagram. I've been stuck at 19.8, 19.9 for the last couple of weeks, but I honestly don't really care because I want to do YouTube. Like, YouTube is what I care about. In the longevity of my career as a solo entrepreneur type person, I think YouTube is the way to go, just because YouTube has more opportunities for scaling your content, as well as being a videographer and all this stuff, versus Instagram. Everything just kind of comes and goes. And I'm honestly kind of burned out with having to make a video every single day. So that's something that I'm going to be stepping away from a little bit. It doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. I'm just kind of over trying to please the algorithm and post every day, show up, blah, 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 all that stuff. But if you're just starting out and you want to grow your fan base, you're going to have to grind this out, because that's how I got here for now. And the way I did it was I just straight up posted every single day, 45 days straight. It was a lot of work. It got tiring. I wanted to give up. But even if a video was, like a C+ level, I still posted it because at the end of the day, not everyone is going to see what you make every single day. So it's almost like you're posting to a new audience every single time, minus a select few that hopefully will comment and come back every single video. Like, I know some people come on my videos and I really appreciate that, because, it feels good to have an actual I don't want to say fan base, but an actual community building around what I do. And that's what I think you should strive for in 2024, is you just work for having a community. Like, that's something that is really important that I think people gloss over, is you're not just trying to farm likes and views and all this. You're actually trying to build a community, because that way, when you get to, you know, these milestones of 5,000, 10,000, etc., you actually have something to prove and stand behind versus just having an account that is pretty meaningless. So if you need help getting that social media presence up, just make sure you backlog all your videos, create at least a week's worth before you start posting, because trying to catch up is a nightmare. And what happened with me was I was ahead for like 2 weeks, but as holidays came, as weekend trips came by and I wasn't really making videos every day, I started slipping, and then I got to a point where I was making videos pretty much the night before I've been posting, and that's the schedule I've been on since like November. So that's kind of the reason why I'm burnt out and I don't want to do this anymore. And that's why I'm shifting my focus on YouTube, because YouTube, I get a little bit more time to create these longer videos. I can edit it. And again, similar concept, but at least having a cadence of once a week, which is my goal right now, is way better than every single day. So depends on your goals, but if you want to do Instagram and TikTok and all that, be prepared to make videos every freaking day. So good luck with that. This is a topic that I talk about a lot, but just investing in higher quality blanks and, you know, overall website experience and all these other things, because the thing with being online today is that there's just so much competition that you have to do everything you can to stand out and be different from someone else. So if you use stuff like Canva, Kittl, you know, whatever else, I don't know what the free softwares are out there, but if you use those things, you're perfectly fine to use them. But just remember that because it is free, a lot of other people who are starting off are going to be using the exact same tools and probably designs as you are. Like, I've seen this globe design with the text around it so many times, and every time I see it, I just think, like, first of all, this is not original at all at this point because it's been overdone 1,000 times. Second of all, if that's your logo looks the exact same as probably like 100,000 other brands on Instagram that started the day before you, you know? So just something to keep in mind. Like, obviously it's a lot to learn and it is challenging, but that's the whole thing of being a brand, is like, why should people support you versus another brand that has the exact same design, just different text, right? So just think about that when you start designing. I know that not everybody has the luxury of affording Photoshop and Illustrator. I know that it is expensive and Adobe doesn't, you know, let you buy it anymore. You have to do subscriptions, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And honestly, my advice to you is, if you're just starting out, it is going to be a lot harder to get your feet wet, but it is going to be so worth it once you figure out how to use Photoshop and Illustrator. The things that you're going to be able to create are going to be so different and unique. And even if you follow tutorials, it's not going to look the exact same as the person that you're watching. I'm still deciding whether or not I want to do design tutorials and design showcases, just because it's not something that I want to lean into showcasing as much. Like, I don't mind talking about it and kind of guiding, but it is something that requires a little bit more structure versus like this kind of stuff. I can always just pop up in a video and start talking. So I don't know, just something to keep in mind, but let me know what y'all think. If you want to see videos from me on how to design, let me know in the comments. I can give it a try, but it's not in the books right now for 2024 for me. The last topic in this video is going to be about paid advertising and marketing for this year. A lot of people want to do this for free, and I get it, and there are ways to do it. It's just going to take a lot more effort from your hand. And if you want to grow your business and spend more time designing and doing more of the fun stuff, then, you know, why not put some money into ad spend? I currently spend money on Meta, Google, and also Etsy. I run ads every single day, and honestly, the ROAs justify the spending. I'm not gonna lie, it is scary when you first start because you're not really sure if it's gonna work or not, and you're gonna have some days and weeks where it's not converting as well. But that's kind of the whole point, is you have to get your pixel to work for you, and you have to have your audience get defined over time, because this isn't something that you just click on once and you get 1,000 sales. It doesn't work like that. I don't want to say you're training your pixel, but you're basically allowing the algorithm to figure out what your audience is and who converts best given that audience pool and size. So the sooner you start, the more. All right, we're having some slight technical difficulties. Sorry if the frame changed again. My battery died on the microphone because I fucked up too many times. But anyway, I was just talking about advertising, and I was saying how, you know, running ads is gonna be an essential part of your business. I've been doing it for about 2 years now, and honestly, I'm so happy that I faced my fears and just learned how to do it. I had some help when I first started, which is obviously like really important, but by help, I mean they helped me set it up. And after you kind of get your way around the UI, it's really not that difficult to set it up. But knowing when to turn on campaigns, knowing how to change your ad spend correctly, and also just understanding the trends of what people are actually looking at when they convert on your ads, These are all things that you're gonna have to learn over time. And the earlier you start, the more data you'll have. And the more data you have, the more you can make better decisions. So if you're gonna run some ads, I say this is the year to start. You know, right here on YouTube, there are so many resources. And I don't have anyone I can recommend specifically, but if you search like Facebook advertising, Meta advertising, Google AdWords, I'm sure you'll have a bunch of people to look through, and then just make your best judgment, go through the comments, you know, and just do your research and see what works best, and then start applying it for your business. So combining your organic posts with some paid advertising is gonna help skyrocket your revenue, and hopefully you can continue to grow your business, put more money back into marketing and research, and then, you know, just kind of keep that cycle going until you get to a certain point, and then maybe you can hire someone else to do it for you. But until then, I say do it yourself, because it's really not that difficult once you kind of get your feet wet. Email marketing, I'll recommend an app like Omnisend or Klaviyo. These are great options. It might cost a little bit to get started, but the longevity and integration into Shopify is impeccable. It's amazing. It allows you to do different conversion funnels, a lot of different audience groups, and it's a lot more versatile than, I think MailChimp only has a very basic free plan. I'm not really sure because I haven't used that in years, but MailChimp, if you guys are good, I apologize. You know, I'm sorry, I don't use it anymore. But Omnisend has been great for me. If you want to check out how it looks, just go to my site, iCanDoIt.shop, and you can see the flow where you get a pop-up around 20 seconds in, put in your email and phone number, and you get a 10% off coupon. Pretty standard, but 10% is pretty standard, and it's good enough for a lot of customers to convert. So highly recommend putting that in there, because my funnel for the welcome is the best converting and best performing of the year. So I highly recommend putting that into your website if you don't have it yet. Plus, email list is everything, because as time goes on and your email list grows, you have more and more people to market back to, so you don't have to get a new person to buy your product every single time you post online. And that's kind of the whole point with email marketing. I'll probably make a video in the future covering a little bit more detail about how to do all these things, but just for this video, I wanted to talk about those 4 subjects because I posted on Instagram with my infamous 15-second loop situation going on. And yeah, it's fine, but you know, having this platform to be able to clarify what I'm talking about and actually show you an application and show how I've done it. And that's why I find more value in being able to explain things, because I just don't want to make a short video that is easy to play back but has no real value, versus these videos are going to have a little bit more value. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment, let me know what you learned. If you want to support my channel further, you can find all my products at iCanDoIt.shop. And if you want to give me a follow, you can find me at iCanDoIt.studio on all socials. And thank you all for stopping by, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace.